very much for joining us, especially you from the Advanced PR class. We hope that you'll have a marketing opportunity after the students here develop their ideas, launch them, and are wildly successful. Actually, along the way, they'll need yours. There's a go-to-market strategy you'll see in the presentations. I'll introduce myself first. I'm Jeff Medeiros. I'm a professor of the Entrepreneurship program here at ESC. We're delighted to have you here, and we're really delighted to have our students who have been spending the last 2 weeks intensively going through the Lean Startup model, as you might have read about or heard, Eric Ries's, that helps young entrepreneurs structure their idea and not to get lost in the weeds. We use the Lean Canvas, which is associated to that program. They develop a marketing plan, financial plan, their product. You'll see all the details, hopefully, in their presentation.
Presenting what are the problems that we're going to solve, the value that we're going to offer, some numbers, budget, and
cool.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when you plan your business, you need to devote a lot of time and energy into thinking how the business should be organized. It's not that I just start to do the work and start to sell the product and start to develop it. It's also what will happen, what I do need to do at the beginning so that nothing catches me later on, so that I have the proper legal structure, so that I have the proper reporting system. Who will be the people that will be investing in my company? Am I putting my own money, or is there any other investor that is going into it with me? What will be the data that he will want to report? What funds I will be living from?
The thing is, with restaurants, you just have to make deals with them that you guys cooperate with us, and we're going to send you more business. They're not going to pay you.
Infrastructure, my Google for Work, I've got my Jira if you're doing application development, and your GitHub, so I should expect to see all of those things in your budget. And the other thing is it shows the seriousness and the level of detail that you've gone into in your plan, right? So when you're presenting this to an investor, they know you've thought about it. If you just have some one line item for $200 for your office supplies, then probably they're going to go, I don't think he thought this was the day before he turned in his thesis paper. Let me also introduce our 3 sharks today. So this is the standard, if you've seen Dragon's Den, or if you've seen Shark Tank on TV, it's the same model here. We have with us Philip Stalin. Philip is a CEO, co-founder of Dot Glasses, focused on providing eyewear at a very, very cheap, affordable cost to a completely underserved market. Billions of people on the planet don't have eyewear, and he's working to help give them this, which would be a luxury for them in a very affordable way. It's a wonderful program, and we're looking forward to his product delivery soon.
Hi, my name is Philip Stalin. I'm a CEO and founder of Dot Glasses. In the past, I've also served as CEO of a $500 million payables company, and as well as managing partner of a global consulting firm. Now I do a lot of startup advising. I'm a co-owner of a startup accelerator and also an angel investor. And today I'm looking forward to seeing what the teams have to offer.
We have with us as well Lloyd Waldo. We know Lloyd from Startup Yard. He was on our very first Shark Tank that we did back in 2016. He's an entrepreneur, he's an angel investor, he advises many startups. He comes to us as a community manager from Startup Yard, which is kind of interesting because the title doesn't suggest what he really is, which is a Renaissance man. You ask him any question about any market segment, and he will go deeper than your last professor. I will bet you a kilo on that.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Waldo. I'm an angel investor and an entrepreneur. I'm looking forward to hearing some amazing ideas from some young people with a lot of energy.
And our last shark is Dana Haig. Dana Haig is a professor here in knowledge management, organizational behavior, and she does consulting with large organizations globally to help them develop knowledge management systems for reuse to improve quality and efficiency and effectiveness.
My name is Dana Haig. I'm an NJEC professor here at UNIP. I'm also a knowledge management consultant. And I'm here today to see how the students are applying the theoretical concepts they learn to the reality of business.
So we're very pleased and honored to have them join us here today. So without any further ado, we're going to go on to the program. And this is what you're going to see. Each student presentation is limited to roughly 10 slides following the Guy Kawasaki model. They have to present their idea, which includes the idea, the financials, go-to-market, and then they're going to ask the panelists here for an investment. There's a punchline here because they want to launch it, but they need some money to get their project going. And then we'll see how our sharks react to their presentation. So they have 20 minutes to present, about 5 minutes of Q&A with the sharks. The sharks will grade them generally. At the end of all 4 presentations, we're going to take a little pause, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, and we're going to have a little powwow, and we'll pick the winning team. They'll be awarded the prize. So, thank you very much for coming. Let's go ahead and begin with the first team. We have Team Yumm with Miguel, Takhmina, and Toan.
First of all, we want to thank you all guys that you came in this discussion. I want to thank personally Mr. Professor Medeiros that we had the opportunity to participate in this class, because I think it's really like experience for us to the future if we're going to start the project. So
we would like to present to you our app, and the name is Yumm. And so as you can see, order ahead and save time.
Yeah. So before I start, I just want to place a bet that any of you have also struggled in restaurants and service delay. With our application, we can fix that problem actually. So our opportunity. So our application establishment actually allows users and consumers to make an order, pre-order. If you want to make an order, you just go to the application, make an order, pay online, and go to the restaurant. The application also allows users to set the time when they come to the restaurant. So I think this application has some features such as flexibility, convenience, and some safety.
So in our value proposition, we have basically a few things. For example, our profile is going to be integrated into the user itself, so it's very specific to where our niche market is going to be business people that have very little time to eat around. They want to basically get the food, eat it, and leave without actually having to wait to be served. So they're going to have the ability to organize their customers, the ones that they come in the future, and also they can plan ahead just in case they have like a wave of many people coming at the same time. So they could plan, okay, it's like we need this many waiters, we need this much appliances or anything. Also it's going to have like an increase of sales just because like people are going to be able to use the app to order without actually having to wait for the waiters themselves. So they could, if they want anything, they could just order it through the app in place, and then they will receive the item of food right there without actually having to move a finger, essentially.
And there are always instances when a customer comes in and he or she is waiting for too long and decides to leave, and that's a loss of sale and profit for the restaurant or cafe.
Yeah, and in addition, we also want to motivate and convince people, mostly employees in the office, who actually have really little time for food. And the thing is that by convincing them to online order, the dish is prepared on time. By that thing, we can actually reduce the amount of plastic covers, plastic bag in terms of business sustainability, because we convince them typically to eat their meal actually in the restaurants. So that's also the basic point. And it also reduces the health issues.
Okay, so our go-to-market strategy, it's like since we're providing a very unique service, it's going to be very easy for us to actually obtain customers. This is because We're unique. Well, as I said, we're unique.
And we are
We're gonna be-
providing service
yeah.
for the restaurant. They would need us to maximize their revenues.
Yeah.
So by incentivizing them to join our company, they will be the first ones on the list, and many users will be willing to order from that specific restaurant.
In order to make some agreements with the restaurants, we also want to focus on our first customers who are going to be our friends, because we know that nowadays everyone is using the phone, everyone knows how to use that, so they can actually try to use the application with the connection with the appropriate list of restaurants. We want to go through the social media such as Facebook, Google Ads, YouTube. We also want to approach some influencers who is the almost the good marketing strategy, and also we want to go live, such as providing restaurants to go for festivals and so on.
So the competitor analysis. Interestingly enough, in Czech Republic, there is no such competitor. There is no such app that provides a service which allows you to pre-order and then pick up the food. Whereas in the US, there is an app, it's called Ritual, and it's actually widely used in San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and it's quite popular in different very popular bagel shops and coffee shops. And however, here there are in Czech Republic alone, there are 40,000 restaurants, and above 5,000 in Prague, and there is no such app. And I think that's an extreme shame and waste of advantage.
It's really of the market. Also, like another thing that we have, for example, in our competitive analysis, we could there's no such app, like as you said, there's no such app that you could basically order in and dine in at the same time. And then the thing is, as I said before,
there are applications that have a feature to order the food and to have it delivered, such as Uber Eats and Miguel and Bolt. However, they charge extremely high percentages, which is quite unfavorable towards the company, to the restaurant, and they charge around 30% commission for each order, and that's clearly not profitable for the business. Also, they are not allowed to order and dine in, whereas our app will allow to do so, and they don't have a reservation system and no mapping for the table.
Gonna charge first. We're gonna charge every restaurant $100 per month, so they could actually use our servers, integrate our service into their daily lives. Also, our key metric is actually to increase at least by 300 users per month, and at least 20 customers. Yeah, customers per month. And one of the main key metrics is to break even after a year. So basically how we're going to do that is
that's after a year of starting the project. So
exactly.
For half a year we will be developing the project, and then after another half a year we will finally break even. So all in all, it's actually taking 6 months to break even from the point of the launch of our company.
So here is our production plan. We actually started establishing Yumm company in January 2019. In the first month, we registered the copyrights and also common establishment. In February, we try to find a web developer and application developer who is able to deliver us the product that we really need. They actually promised us to deliver the product within 4 to 6 months. We want to establish the product in following month, and we are seeking for $320,000 in exchange for 15% of our equity. So, any shark want to join us?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sharks, what you say?
I have
You're out.
one question. Your focus on competitors was, I would say, very narrow. You only focused on competing with those providers who actually whose USP is to deliver food from a restaurant. What you didn't show is all those table reservation systems, which I think is more of a competitor to you, because you're talking always about your app has to do with restaurant capacity. If they're already at capacity, actually no one will want your app, right? Because they simply can't add more tables. So they're not making things much more efficient for themselves, that they're not becoming more profitable. Maybe customer experience improves a little bit, but you also have some more pissed off people that have been queue jumped. So I thought that was a bit of a weakness. I like the concept, but it's a tough space because I think there is that capacity issue. There is the opportunity for competitors coming into the space very easily if they have the tables set up already. And maybe they even can't offer multiple table reservation systems at once. So maybe you're blocked from going into those systems as well. So, I think there's still a few things that still need to be worked out.
I would agree with that. I think the USP is what I would say is facile. When you compared it with companies like Damilo or Volt, right? Which, by the way, does allow you to order for eat-in. So maybe you guys should check again on that one. I'm not sure exactly how it works, or if every restaurant has it, but it does allow that.
We don't have the services.
Okay. But regardless, the idea that these companies are providing a service which is hurting restaurants, I don't think so. These restaurants would not be using them if it was hurting their bottom line, right? So obviously, restaurants with low margins, like ones you're talking about, yes, it's probably not a good idea for them to be doing delivery, right? Because they're not making any money from upsales inside the restaurant, right? They don't have wait staff, right? So they have very low cost. Given that, you really need to go back to the USP and think about, okay, I'm a restaurant owner. What are my chief complaints, right? Is my chief complaint that I can't get food on tables fast enough for customers? Really? I don't know. I don't know if that's my number one problem. Maybe my number one problem is the wait staff are not fast enough or not good enough. And how is this going to help me solve that problem, right? Because the wait staff might not like this very much. If you order online and pay online, you might not feel like leaving a tip, right? So I'm going to have problems with my wait staff if I use this, right? So there are a lot of moving pieces, and you had a very broad kind of set of value propositions. You really need to pick a customer, pick a problem specifically, and sort of go for that.
All right, so this is actually not an original idea because Starbucks has tried something like that in the US where people could order their coffee before they come.
It works.
And it was a massive issue because they were way over capacity. They were not able to handle the store traffic as well as the orders. So they have scaled that down. And I did not see that considered anywhere. I also want to talk about the current status. You say January you would be registering patents and then you start developing an application. What patent can you register before you have anything? It's an interesting thing. Also, the number of months that you dedicate to develop an application of this complexity, where I see the biggest complexity, the table reservation, because you would need to create a unique map of every restaurant that you sign up, and then the data traffic would be fairly significant.
So
with the projection.
For that question, actually we thought about that, and we actually set up the timetable that was given to us to develop the app was 4 months to 6. So we kind of did that, and then within the app itself, we're gonna have a system. It's kind of like, if you know Unreal Engine, well, it's kind of like it's a software that all you have to do is plug in, and that's it. So for example, you have a table, all you have to do is plug it in, and you can just design the basic layout for your restaurant. So it can match, it can reflect.
So the restaurant would be doing their own mapping?
No, we could do that. So we just go, look around, and just kind of just scan it, and that's it. It just makes the entire layout.
I think it's a little optimistic.
Yeah, so on that note, right, what I see is also, you didn't really show the cost side. So going to the restaurant is fine, but that's a huge cost. And you actually have to go to the restaurant, because I don't believe any social media stuff is going to drive your users, which are the restaurants, to the platform. It's going to be direct sales, it's going to be field force, it's going to be you visiting a restaurant 3 times to convince the owner to buy your platform. Huge cost.
Yeah, and to build on that, you say that you will initially start with just social media for your friends, but you never told us how many friends you have. So what is what's the initial exposure that we could be expecting in terms of what's the value proposition coming with the restaurant to say we have an audience of this many to start with, and that's how we expect growth. So that's also.
And I think this is getting the cart getting way ahead of the horse, because I agree with something that Philip said, which is you haven't picked the right customer. You don't know who the customer is. The customer is not the restaurant goer. The customer is not the business person ordering their lunch. There are so many little things that that person is looking for. There's so many little decisions that they're making, and you're trying to get them to completely alter their behavior. There's no reason that you need to do that when you're actually making your money from the restaurant, right? Let the restaurant convince someone, which is what they're good at, knowing their customer, convince them to do something different, right? In order to use that restaurant, because the motivation from the customer, from the eater, right, is to get food from that restaurant. It's not to get food from any restaurant, but from that one specifically, right? So focus on who your customer really is. Building on top of that, I would say, I'm not even sure that the restaurant is your customer. You have companies like Dotykačka, for example, or really any POS system, already has most of the data that you guys need. The reservation systems, the payment systems, most of that functionality is already built. So I want you to think about, how can I leverage this already existing database, already existing ability? How could I help Dotykačka get better business, right? Think about that, because they're handling what happens inside the restaurant, right? So how can I bring them a little bit something extra? It's quite, in a way, simpler than what you guys want to do, which is completely reinvent point of sale again, right?
This is great. Great. Super Sharks, thanks a lot. A lot of feedback, a lot to think about. Okay, let's go on to the next team. We'll take a few minutes and compile your notes. Thank you very much, guys.
Always happens with restaurants.
Okay, Team StarBoy is up next.
Hi everyone, my name is Danilo Vincenzo Pellegrini, and with my colleague Anna, we're introducing you StarBoy, our men's makeup and cosmetic company. We're going to start with a major first assumption, which is that by the year 2022, and according to Allied Research Market, the projected revenue of men's personal care will be hitting $166 billion, and we can see the trend ongoing in essentially the entire world. In South Korea, men are using, you might not believe so, but actually red lipstick, which we will not be selling, but it is the trend eventually. And in England, 1 every 3 people use men makeup, and in India there's the enormity of the total addressable market of people who want to have a beautiful beard. And so we have developed our company StarBoy, and the first problem opportunity is that in fact the men's makeup company and in general the industry is an unexploited market. So you might now see major colossi like, for instance, Chanel Boy invested, or Tom Ford, which of course gives us assurance towards the fact that it is indeed an ongoing trend. The truth is that all the companies right now are in fact not trying to be disruptive. They don't want to target the fact that men have to also use makeup or can be given the chance. And of course the truth is that there is a still huge stigmatization and bias towards this. So that's what we want to address.
We are new and unique. We're gonna have our design is gonna be specifically made for men. And we're making our customers identify with ourselves and wanting to change this, to make them to make this become more normal, and so stigmatizing and all the prejudice there is around this, because many people actually use makeup, especially in TV.
For my idea in a foreseeable future would be having a hub, for instance, in New York City or Milano. These cities, of course, clearly because people there will be more open towards this. So our niche market initially would be our pilot city of Milano, and millennials between 15 and 25 in the metropolitan area of the city. But the business model would be based on utilizing, of course, Instagram and these platforms, and specifically it's going to be a hierarchical system of influencers. Create a hierarchical pyramidal structure of influencers, starting from influencers on Instagram who perhaps have 5,000 to 10,000 followers, pardon me. So they would receive the product in exchange of nothing, because of course they would receive the product for free, and then in turn make a video about, for instance, the efficacy of the product. And then going up, we will of course reach the higher echelons of the influence. And for instance, just like HiSmile did by having 2 paid campaigns made by respectively Conor McGregor and Kylie Jenner. and of course their business skyrocketed. In a foreseeable future, one can also imagine from 10, 20 years, for instance, a case in which all makeup is actually gender neutral. That can also as well happen. But of course, this wouldn't mean that gender-specific companies wouldn't still, of course, operate. And so now we'll show you some financial projections. Now we'll start just by saying, of course, that this is what we think we could do, and I must tell you the numbers first before you actually have an understanding of them. So I should do my offer now, although I should do it at the end. We're looking for 2 million euro in exchange of 15% equity. The number might look staggering, but the truth of the facts is that if one wants to impose himself in a business like this and be disruptive and create viral videos that are watched by everyone, then of course one needs a lot of funds. And so one eventuality, and according to Eric Ries, lead startup, so utilizing, for instance, an MVP, which will be, although we're not going to list it here, we do have, of course, already all the products we intend and envision to create. But an MVP will be creating a beard product, a beard enhancer, with a low budget. So, for instance, 100,000 could make that, but that would be a really, really low start. And so, approximately, also through our research, we know that we need like $1.5 million to really follow up with these projections. And especially if now in the beginning we might be addressing people who already use makeup or are interested towards using makeup, but in the future the whole plan is to actually get those who don't even think of using makeup to actually try it for themselves. And the importance of this is connected to the mission that we try to bring of the societal change, which of course is super important for the prosperity of every business. The truth is that we want to be financially supported for that much of amount for a 15% stake in a company. Our gross margin is 84%, and the average gross margin of cosmetic industry is from actually 50 to 80. And so your Urban Decay has a gross margin of 79. So we're following this projection that's catching up pretty well. And also our net profits, which of course are great. And I did put a tax, but I utilized a basic tax, not knowing what company are we going to actually incorporate the company in. So if we'll be in Italy, it will be of course a different tax than any other country. This is based on creating a company in the USA. So if we put 15%. So I think that's it from us. Thank you for your attention.
Great, thanks.
Okay, guys, a lot going on. We'll start at the end, and I'll sort of work back to the beginning. Okay, so you based the valuation that you want on your revenues. Your revenues right now are 0.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah, we're showing
So
once we
it's
start
okay,
to
I
produce.
understand that, but I'm an angel investor, right? So when I give somebody money, right, I want to get 10 times back the next time you raise, right? That means, you know, you should be worth 10 times more the next time you seek funding. That's ideal for me. How is that possible if I'm investing, you know, at this already realized sort of revenue rate?
Well, of course, we would like to first do a general assumption that it's a game.
No,
so,
why? It was treated seriously. I mean, seriously.
No,
Why?
very serious too. No, okay.
So why would your first investor give you 2 million euros when you have proved nothing?
At a valuation of 12 million already.
Yeah. Why would we do that?
So the thing is, the 2 million is actually everything that we need.
Yeah, I realize that, but
Like
why
the
wouldn't?
methodology, the chemistry.
I understand, but
Well,
why
if you
would
wanna
an
make-
investor give you money before you've started?
No,
Sorry.
it's true. Of course. Okay, here's the thing. In a real life projection of this, we will be looking, as I said, for an MVP. So, for instance, we could start with like 200,000. I did go to a company in Milano, Albea, the major company producers. They do 5 million makeup cosmetics a week, and the first batch of cosmetics you can build is minimally 4,000 pieces, which, given the price that we've calculated of our beard enhancer, would be roughly like 50,000 euro. If you add all the marketing costs, it would be huge in order to get that virality that we're looking for.
So I ask again, why weren't we pitched that investment? Why were we pitched 2 million?
Because now, finally, based on, of course, the fact that these 2 weeks we have addressed the fact that an investor wants what? Make the most money he can. So if you put 200,000 you're not gonna get as much as if you put 2 million in it. Obviously.
No, what you make, that's a fallacy. An investor
yeah,
does not want to make as much money as he can. He wants the biggest reward for the lowest risk.
Yeah.
What you don't cover at all is the risk part here, right? So, you know, I would rather put in 250,000 euros up front to see you grow, and then once you prove that the management team is working, the product is working, the marketing is working, then come back to me and I'll give you more money. But there's no way that, you know, I would come in and say, wow, I love you, I'm going to give you
No, I think we've
$2 million.
maybe been way too. I
think so.
completely agree, of course.
The point at which you want to raise 2 million euros is when you have revenues growing to prove that you can use that money to increase your revenues, right? Not to just generate them from the first place, right? Anyone can sell $20 bills for $19, right? But really, I mean, but that's not the point. That's why I harped on disruption so much, even though you didn't really answer that problem for me.
No.
You kind of did your pitch backwards, which is to say you started with the kind of the conclusion, and then you told us how you're sort of going to get there. And it was strange because at the very end you basically pitched the actual product that you want to work on, which is a beard product, right? Okay, so pitch that, right? Pitch us the thing you're actually going to do right now.
Here's the thing.
Well,
let me
hang on.
sorry to interrupt.
Pitch that and then sell us the idea of, okay, and then we can become this big disruptive brand, right? But I need to know first, what are you actually going to do with my money? You know what I mean?
Maybe to flip it around, right? There is a niche out there that's willing to pay for men's cosmetics, which is the
Focus
point.
on that, yeah.
You're not
Right.
saying we're fighting against the the biases in the market. No, there's a niche market out there willing to pay, and I buy that. That what makes the business interesting.
Yeah.
But you didn't focus on that at all.
Like you could say Philip will color his beard, right? Maybe.
No, we'll cover every different color.
You can convince me that Philip might want to color his beard in 10 years, that would be something that he might want to do. Or me, right? What you won't convince me of is that you're going to get all of society to accept men wearing makeup in time to be profitable. You know what I mean? You might, but I don't think you will. So focus on what you can.
You don't need to.
No, you don't need to. Focus on what you can actually do. Right?
No, actually, jokes apart, like this is actually a real life idea that I have. So that's why I used it for the project, because I wanted to get roasted here before I would get roasted before the real guys. Or guys tell me.
You want to be roasted? Okay, well, let's get started.
That's why it's called Shark Tank, right?
I'll be happy to step in with some more roasting.
Okay.
The message here is a little bit confused because it's one thing if you talk about beard coloring, if
Right.
you talk about makeup,
Yeah.
and specifically about makeup for men. And one of the things that I really missed on your cost breakdown is the whole cost of R&D and development and manufacturing. It was not that at all. You've noticed that you want to pay 276,000 euros in salaries and 400,000 in marketing, but in your supply chain it was 15,000 euros. So that would be a very significant issue.
And you guys really confused the term business model. Literally doesn't mean how do you make money, but we weren't then looking for a marketing strategy.
Right.
We're actually looking for how do you make money, as in,
Right.
is it a subscription? Is it a margin per unit? How does it work? What are the unit economics? What is the scale economics? We want to know those things. Those are important questions. The other thing is a hand-waving marketing strategy of influencers. Maybe I'm totally out of touch, and this would totally work, but I don't think that giving $250,000 to Kathleen Jenner, who is it? Sorry, somebody? I don't know. I am totally out of touch. I don't think that just doing that without any, you need to know your market, you need to really understand the value you're offering, how you're going to convert those customers over to paying customers, and what are they actually paying for, and how are they paying for it.
Yeah.
These are super important questions before you dump a truckload of money at somebody's door to pump your idea, right?
So, if I may, the intro was good. You speaking. The slides sucked.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. If you ever pitch, rather not have slides, honestly.
No, the truth is we actually, the first thing we asked Professor, should we stand out, should we do some prezi, super cool thing, and do something amazing?
No, put
And he
bullet
said
points.
it-
No,
yeah,
forget about the graphics.
Amazing. Yes.
Well, yes.
Yes, you should.
Good answer. No, but
Yeah, no, that's why we wanted to work on the content.
No, but look,
more
text
than,
is not a
I'll
strategy,
do it after
right?
you roasted
Bullet
the
points could be a better strategy, because
Right.
it was just like a paragraph. Because, come on, business school 101, you learn how to do bullet
Yeah,
points, right?
fair enough.
So the message has to be readable from the slides if you're going to have slides,
Right.
even if they're not sexy. Also, the organization, the team slide. I mean, we all know what an org structure looks like. You covered the org structure without putting any meat behind it. So if you're going to have a slide like that, don't show it because it's not adding value, right? Every slide, you have limited time, you have limited slides. Every slide has to be punchy, has to have a message, and only add the slides which are adding to your message. So it's good.
If you think about that, yeah, I agree. It's like I want 3 questions answered when it comes to the team and the idea and me, right? Which is, first of all, why you, why this, and why me, right? If you can answer those 3 things, we can have another conversation.
No, I could if you want me to.
No, but
let's be honest about all this now. Now, I'm loving your advices. I'm just, as I said, I'm here to be roasted because.
So go ahead. Why you? Why this? Why me?
Well, why me? Because actually, I like the idea of cosmetics. My girlfriend is right there. She's supportive in this, and she wants me to look better. And no, jokes apart. I'm actually getting an internship at L'Oréal Paris now because I want to get into this industry. Here's the thing: I don't know anything about any of those things that I put up there. That's the truth. I'm majoring in international economic relations, so I know nothing about equity. I know nothing about depreciation, amortization. That's a harsh truth. This is a class. That's why I took it.
Something, Jeff.
And that's a harsh truth. I could be coming out here trying to be cool and
When's the last time she's a shark?
What grade does he get?
No, that's the truth.
I'm sorry, all joking aside.
That's the harsh truth. None of us know anything, right? So in case I didn't go to do this for real.
Fake it until you make it.
Exactly. No, fair enough.
Danny,
but you're gonna be honest.
Okay.
Right?
Danny, you have an apologetic style, and you need to.
No, man.
No, hang on. You need
This
to.
is a game.
Well, let's not keep harping on that. Okay. You have an apologetic style. You need to get past that. That's an ego thing. That's protecting your ego from disappointment, right?
We're joking.
I'm not joking. I'm serious. You're protecting your ego from being disappointed, which I've
I
seen.
was answering questions.
Absolutely, you are. And I've seen it 100 times. I know what it looks like. That's okay. What I'm telling you is, if you're going to do something, if you're going to present in front of people, be serious. Do it for real. Because there's no point to sort of, making it a game, right? Because you can learn more, I would say, by being a little more on point with it. It wasn't prepared enough, wasn't in detail enough, really wasn't clear enough. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Maybe one more point. When you're talking to people that you're supposed to take seriously, take your hands out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Into your message. You cannot be saying that you're going to be new and unique and have absolutely nothing to put behind that. And you cannot say that you're going to be first when the next time you come and start saying that Chanel is doing that and Tom Ford is doing that. So be careful about how you frame your message because these contradictions are very easy to pick up for experienced people and absolutely destroys your credibility.
I agree. Now, of course, I was trying to make an instant talking about this. It is clear that how many female companies are there out there? I know them are making good profit. So of course it's undeniable that in the future all these major companies will invest in men makeup. That's the baseline. So the reason why I chose to do this exactly is because, and thank you for all your advices, like for real, absolutely thank you. Like this here is going to be forgotten in 5 minutes, but real life is a whole different thing. And if I can get your money in UNIP, I surely won't be able to do it at Unilever. So thank you for your advices, and I absolutely agree.
Great. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. May we start?
Please.
Ready? Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Lubos and today we will present you our company called LearnIt. So we have been thinking about starting a company for several months, maybe years now, and with every idea we came up with, there was something lacking, something behind it, and after some time we realized what was it. It was lacking value. So after some time we came up with this idea that we want to provide or bring value to the educational system, because I come from Slovakia and I know, sorry for my language, the educational system is there. So, sorry for my language. Yeah. So we came up with this idea that we want to help the educational system starting in Slovakia and then move or spread out to other countries in the whole Europe. And you're maybe asking, what's the idea behind it? So we'll be providing vending machines, specialized vending machines, for writing supply or learning supplies to elementary and high schools in Slovakia. And what problem are we solving? So we are solving the problems that children tend to forget and children lose. Every children forgets something. And we conducted a research in Slovakia. We came to several schools and we asked several teachers about how often do students forget or lose their necessary supplies for their class or education, more specifically for geometry or math class. And the overall research told us that 1 out of 5 students forgets something per month. So those are the numbers, and we will be providing, as I said, writing supplies or material necessary for the learning for schools and students. And the second problem that we're trying to solve, I don't know if anybody of you have children. Yes. So you probably know the struggle of buying the necessary supplies at the beginning of every school year, going to maybe Tesco, Lidl, or Billa, and buying those notebooks, pens, pencil cases, everything. So we will also run an e-shop through which parents or basically anybody might order writing supplies or office supplies directly delivered to their homes or delivered basically by any means that e-shops do deliver their products nowadays. We will provide those necessary supplies for students and giving back. So this is part of our brand story or other way how to bring value to the educational system. So we will give part of our profits back to students, maybe giving awards at the end of every school year to outstanding students, or paying for the field trips at the end of every school year. And also we will be providing training programs for teachers and also school directors. If it's end of the August and you don't want to go to the shop with your child, you might order it online and have it delivered to the vending machine, and the kid might go at the first day of the school year, go to the vending machine, type the order number, and have it dispensed right from the vending machine. So what's the underlying magic, you might ask? So the underlying magic, or our USP, is that those vending machines are completely customized and specially built and designed by our team. I'm currently working on a custom-built coin acceptor. The reason behind it, Hansa will tell a little bit more behind the numbers. And it will act like a smart device, like IoT device. It will be connected via SIM card to the internet, and it will talk directly to our database, mothership, and we'll know about the sales from the vending machine in real time, so we can analyze the numbers in real time, and basically we can collect any data you can think of from the vending machine.
Okay, now I'm gonna talk a little bit about how we're gonna get our customers. So the main point will be vending machine implementing into the schools. So we will have our professional trained sales team, which will go to the schools and try to make a deal and contracts with the schools in order that our vending machine could be implemented in their schools. Also, we will have e-shop, as Lubos mentioned, and those two will be connected, as he mentioned, by the payments that the student could pick up the ordered stuff right into the school, and we will target the audience by Google Ads. And as Lubos mentioned, that we will be pricing differently in each region. We also will have different strategy methods for each region as ads. We will be specific by location, by age, and we will be targeting the parents of the students. And we want them to believe in our brand and believe in our company, so we can have a lifetime customers from them. As Lubos mentioned, we will have cashless pickups, loyalty cards. Loyalty cards will be that the student will have his own loyalty card, and if he or she forgets something and some supply he needs or she needs to write a test or something, he can just call. If he doesn't have a cash, just call up mom, dad. He will send a credit into the card, and he just basically goes to vending machine, just put the loyalty card there, and he can order and take whatever. Okay, something about competitive analysis. So, in Czech, there are two main competitors. The first one is called Papiermat, the second one is School. However, there are many weaknesses. And the first and the main one is that they are using used vending machines. So they buy already used vending machine, rebuild it somehow, and use them again. And they currently had very big problem because they wanted to spread more. There was really high demand for the vending machines into school, however they couldn't because there were no used vending machines, so they needed to order new ones. It takes really long and it's really expensive.
I will tell a little bit more about our management team. So I'm gonna be the CEO. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I haven't ever run a business or started a company, but I have managed some projects also abroad. I have managed a project in Cuba and also in Slovakia back home, which both of those projects were successful. We've successfully found investors for both of those projects. And Jan is gonna be...
Yeah, so I'm gonna be CFO. I already have one company which is working. I really like numbers. I made financials, I made budgets, and I enjoy those things.
The first stage will be development to schools at the beginning of September, and throughout the whole half semester to December, maybe January, we'll be testing, analyzing numbers, and which parts work, which not, and then we want to start from January operating on 100%.
And we would like to ask you, or we would need 40,000 euros in order to start implementing those vending machines into the schools and the run of the e-shop in exchange of 5% of the company. And
those 40 numbers will be used to fund the research and the whole deployment of vending machines for the first year, and after that we will be growing rapidly. In the third year we want to export or start operations in Poland and Hungary, and by the fifth year we want to be in 7 countries throughout the European Union. And the market capitalization of our company, or the value of the company, is valued on revenues. In the 5th year we plan to, or according to our budget and financial planning, we will have revenues of 5 million euros per year. So those numbers are based on our revenues mostly. So if you have any more questions?
Yeah, me too.
All right, so the first thing that completely puzzles me is why would you focus on any kind of coin collector if you have an e-shop and if you have a loyalty card where the kid could punch in a number and a code? I think that is the value proposition you should really go with, and just forget about all of the coins, particularly since you've mentioned those in your competitors as being issues. I'm really not quite clear, why would you use machine learning and IoT and real-time sales from vending of pens and notebooks? I'm not quite sure where the advantage of that is to see that in real time. So maybe if you can let me know more. But I don't know if
I think that was just a bit of hype in the
it's like
machine learning in that.
Some buzzwords.
Yeah, guys.
So be careful about that.
I was really prepared to hate it because I really hate education startups, but I kind of loved it actually. It was a really kind of unique idea. She's absolutely right. Save yourself a lot of heartache and time, and just forget about coins, forget about currency in general, and in fact forget about designing most things. Try to build something with off-the-shelf parts. You will thank me later for that. The process of buying school supplies is just not, it doesn't make sense. It's all front-loaded. Spend a lot of money in September, lose everything by June, right? And what you want to do is make it so that the kids can pick up a pencil when they need a pencil. So I want to use the story of that, of saying, don't go and buy 10 pencils. Just give your kid a card, and when they need a pencil, they get a pencil, and you can see how much they get. You can save money, and the kid always has a pencil. This is the story, right?
My turn.
Please.
So I'm completely backwards from Lloyd. I actually have invested in educational startups, and I don't like the idea, and I'll tell you why. This is it's a niche market, and there's already two competitors who, you criticize them for using used machines, but they use used machines for a reason.
In Czech Republic, you want to start in Slovakia.
Fine, but I mean, I'm sure there's competitors there as well. But also, you have a vending machine and an online business kind of blended business model, which I don't think works. Because in the online world, you're competing with the Tesco's and the paper stores that are, I mean, that is their core business, to deliver to your home, and they have really cheap school supplies, right? And they advertise like hell before the school year starts, so everyone is going to buy at the time because that's when the discounts are happening. So for you to compete in the online space, no way. I don't buy it. Well, and then you say giving them loyalty cards, which is a good idea, except that as you pointed out at the beginning, which I completely subscribe to because my son loses everything, he's lost so many bloody cards, that loyalty card will be gone within the first week.
Yeah, that's why we have a code.
Not even a card. So there's
code on the phone.
I love the idea of supporting education. But by the way, your first statement saying Slovak education, and then you pitch a vending machine was a little bit dramatic for me, right?
Yes.
Because you're not solving the problem. You're solving a little pain point, which could also be solved, by the way, by having the schools just have supplies and selling it to the kids, or even maybe the school supplying the rulers if you lose one. A couple of general lessons, though, and I think this counts for all the teams I've heard so far. Each of the teams had a CFO. You're a startup. You don't need a CFO. You need a guy who's going to sell, and you need a guy who's going to build the software, and you're going to need, and everyone's going to have to make coffee at the same time, right? You do not need a CFO. You don't even need a CEO. You don't need people to drive the business forward. Here, you're not profitable for 3 years, then you want an 800,000 euro valuation. That's pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But I think all the teams also need to figure out how to value the company properly at this stage. And I realize that this is kind of hard to value in this format. But be very conscious of that. You have to have a very clear story when you ask for money, and it has to make sense based on the normal conditions that investors look at.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I would just add a very quick thing. Your brand name, LearnIt, there's no association at all with school supplies. I thought it was an e-learning thing, so think about what is it that you want to call it. And also all of your CSR stuff, giving prizes and giving teacher trainings, it all sounds great, but there's absolutely no space for it in your cost model in it. So tailor your communication to your audience, which is how will these people make money, before you say how can't you're going to be able to do this.
Great. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Great job.
Hello Sharks, thank you for coming. I know you've been sitting down for quite some time, so I think it's a great time to talk about fitness. So, we are fitQ. We're developing a fitness app. My name is Samuel, and this is my co-founder and mainly my partner, Eliska Popova.
Alright, let's go to our problems and what we want to solve. When an inexperienced person comes to the gym, he basically doesn't know what to do with the equipment, what is the right way, how to use it, when you want to do arms, when you want to do legs, all that stuff. Mostly he's on a tight schedule and he cannot afford to actually hire a trainer and follow up with his schedule also.
So, what are our value proposition? We want you to learn how to work out properly. We want to teach you how to be efficient in a gym and how to work out properly. We want you to be fit and healthy. We want you to be jacked, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So, how are we gonna do that? Imagine going to the gym. Imagine you are inexperienced gym goer. You go to the gym. At the reception, there's a QR code with our app. You scan the code with our app, our fitQ app. It's gonna immediately recognize at which gym you are at. There's gonna be QR codes on every machinery, so there couldn't be, in no way could happen to you that the app would give you do this exercise on this machinery, and it's nowhere to find in gym.
Yeah, and moving forward to the nutrition tips. we decided to pursue a marketing strategy of asking and actually involving in our app mini influencers, which is going to be, of course, at the start. Then after, we're going to ask for more popular ones, and they are actually going to add to our app their comments, their tips, so and basically mainly the nutrition tips, as they are all nutritionalists.
So if we had to summarize everything to one sentence, what our app is for, we help inexperienced gym goers to achieve their desirable physique without spending time and money for a personal trainer. We're gonna be subscription based. We're gonna charge $12.99 per month. We're gonna offer freemium, for example, like 30-day trial for newcomers, for people who sign up for the first time. And also, we believe our app is a great platform for advertising. So just imagine you're done with your workout, and the app's gonna give you, it's gonna tell you, you should drink protein shake. If you use our code fitQ20, you can buy this protein shake on, for example, myprotein.com for 20% off. And we're gonna build this partnership sponsorship with other companies in the business.
According to an article from year 2018, they had over 1 million monthly subscribers, and they are $19.99 per month. But the key difference, again, is the fact that it is mainly home workouts and workouts without weights. And as Samuel can add up to it as a professional trainer.
Yes, because home workouts are great, but you will never achieve a physique that great that you could achieve in gym, because in gym you have equipment specifically for specific muscle groups, for specific workouts, and you can never achieve same physique with only a home workout. Therefore, we believe going to the gym is important in building your desirable physique, and therefore we're focusing on teaching you how to work out in a gym, not at home.
And going to the gym is also motivating in a sense.
Yes. So, our target group. We're focusing mainly on people between 20 to 35 years, maybe 40, people who use mobile phone apps. We're focusing on male and female the same. I'm sorry if you're over. I'm sorry.
You can use it anyways if you want it.
Yeah. we're gonna give you 2 months for free. So we're gonna reach those people mainly via social media. We're focusing on Instagram because I believe fitness models, fitness influencers are mainly on Instagram. So if you want to get fit, if you are into the fitness, you follow those people. So imagine watching their Instagram stories, and just like between those, our ad shows up. Google. We would focus on Google ads because from my experience when I was starting working out, I always typed into Google like, how to work out, how to lose fat, how to gain muscle, whatever. So we would create an ad with keywords, how to, and anything related to fitness. So once you're typing in this, Googling this, our ad would pop up. YouTube videos. Same story as with the Google. I was typing in workouts on my chest, workouts on my back. I want to see people doing those kind of stuff. So in, between or in front, like before every video related to fitness, there could be like minute, 2-minute ad on how our application app works, how you can sign up, where you should go, where you should click, and promoting our business. Last but not least, advertisement in gyms, like basic banners, leaflets. Just one. If you're already going to the gym but you're inexperienced, we just want to show you, hey, there's like better way, efficient way to learn how to work out. Yes.
All right. Now to our team. As you can see here, our team is basically us two as co-founders, and also we decided it would be good to have a tech guy who has who has insights of all the app development, app maintenance, kind of all the new updates that we really don't know anything about, basically, right?
Right.
Yeah. I will be the marketing guy, and basically I would be again concentrating on the ads, trying to contact gyms and persuade them that we are actually good for them. If they're going to promote our app, there are going to be more people coming to their gym because they're going to be in our database, so it's kind of a mutual win-win there. And also, I'm going to come back to the competitors again. Just a quick one.
Yo, I'm sorry. Continue, go on.
Because in the gym there's trainers, of course, as you know, and they are their employees, or they go there and pay a fee. But we are actually not a direct competitor of them, because when someone wants to hire a trainer, they will, and they're not going to use the app, because you cannot really substitute a person for an app. So that's what we want to do. And Samuel.
I think I'm a great person to be in this team, to be developing this app, because actually I have my fitness license. I'm a certified trainer, so I have the knowledge how to build the workout plan, what you should do after the workout, what you should eat. So I have the knowledge required for this business. Also, I've been working out for quite some time, and I've seen a lot of stuff happening in gym. I've seen people, you know, those compilations of people screwing up in gym. So I've seen all of them in person. So I was like, I should help those guys. They're desperate, literally. So that's why we decided to develop this app. Also, a lot of my friends who started working out didn't know how to do it, didn't know what to do. They hurt themselves badly, like effed up their back, their spine. It's really, you should know what you're doing. That's why we're here. That's why we're here to help you. We believe we can have 1,200 users in our first year. Because it's extremely costly to develop an app, unfortunately, will be over $100,000 in negative numbers for the first year. However, we believe that we can expand our users base to up to 3,000 people next year, and actually start making money with over $200,000 in the second year. In the third year, we would like to expand to different countries. Also, we would like to create an English version of our app, because at the beginning we were focusing on Czech market. So therefore, we would develop an English version for our app. We could increase our target audience.
Our current situation is that we are testing our app. It's an MVP, of course, so it's like a beta version. But we are also doing a market research on whether our customers would be willing to pay our monthly subscription, whether also gyms would be interested in that. And yeah, this is where we're at right now.
Yes. So now you know our story. Now you know what we are trying to do. And we would like you... We want to give you, damn, I'm sorry.
We want us to give you something.
Thank you very much. If you're interested in our idea, we offer you 10% of our company for $50,000 investment. Is any one of you interested in our fitQ app?
I'll just say thank you first, guys.
So if I can start, so you've done something which I think is very good. It's good because it's instructive for everyone. Okay, you've taken this sort of platonic ideal of the way the market works, the market you're focusing on, and you've based all your assumptions on that, right? And the platonic ideal that you have is that gyms want people to go to the gym and be in shape, right? That's wrong. And you know it. You know it's wrong, right? That's not what they want. How do gyms actually work? Right? What is the actual business of a gym?
Gotcha. They want to pay a subscription and never see you there.
Exactly. And why do they have trainers?
To talk with you.
Well, they have trainers, first of all, to attract people to sign up for the gym, and second of all, as a way to capitalize on the equipment that they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, if you don't pay a trainer, you don't go to the gym. And in fact, now you can see it's happening everywhere, that gyms are building entire wings that are only for their trainers, right? Because they don't want their trainers to have to work around people who aren't paying trainers, right? So you see,
I'm sorry, I haven't seen that in Czech Republic.
It's the latest thing. Oh yeah. Form Factory does it now, right? But this is the latest thing to have trainer-only gyms.
Does it
right?
really? Okay.
Yeah. Because that's what they want, right? They want if you're paying for training, you should have an exclusive experience. If you're not paying, you should not come at all, right? That's ideal for them. So you've sort of taken this assumption that you're going to help the gym by getting people to come. What if I'm a gym owner and I don't want people to come? You know what I mean? It costs me more. It makes my life harder if people actually come, right? So that initial assumption is sort of something you really need to interrogate, I think. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, but their customers actually the user who buys a subscription, and
I
so
agree.
they can actually use their gym membership in a more rational way. So, but I agree, the metrics don't work on the other side for the gyms themselves. But
So therefore, the whole idea of working with the gym, to me, doesn't make sense the way you've pitched it now.
well, except that it's a value add for the customer, which might mean they actually buy the subscription in the first place. It's arguable, but I mean, I get your point. It's completely valid. On the other hand, okay, I'm not the kind of guy who likes to go to a gym, but I actually was quite interested in your app. It's not going to get me to the gym, but still, my thinking is you kind of mixed a few different things as well. You had this fairly nice system for the inexperienced user. They go to the gym, they get smart about the machines, because that's always embarrassing to me. It's like, which way do I have to do this machine? And I'm sure you've seen people do it backwards. But that's, what, a 2-3 month window of their inexperience. And after that, they don't need you anymore. They don't scan any more QR codes.
Right.
And then you say, okay, but we're also going to be offering nutrition advice and this and this and this. And I think that's, if you have a huge brand and you're successful, you can do that. But quite honestly, I'm going to use you for the first 2-3 months, then I'm going to go use my nutrition app, which already exists. There's thousands of them.
Of course.
And it's probably much, much cheaper than yours is as well. So I didn't see in your business model how many customers you're going to lose, by the way, the turnover. And I bet you that number is going to be really high.
Just as a baseline metric, okay, 80% of people who download an app don't open the app at all, right? At all. You lose another 80% of the people who do open the app.
But if you pay it, you use it.
That's different, yeah. But even then, you lose a majority of customers in the first 3 months. And then you continue to lose customers over, at a diminishing rate, right? So you end up with a very small percentage of the people who actually download it or actually activate it, right? So you have to think about that. It's a law of large numbers, right? I think adding on to what Philip said, you sort of undermine your own value proposition by saying that you, as a 20 to 35-year-old, I'm assuming, look on YouTube for instructions on stuff like this, right? In fact, so do I, and I think so does anyone who's 20 to 35. So why should they download and pay for an app when they can find videos online?
Because those videos online are always, at least from my experience, I'm gonna give you like a taste what it's gonna be about, and then you're gonna have to pay me as well. All those YouTube, all those YouTube people have their own workout plans that you have to pay for. Those YouTube videos are just like, hey, this is workout for your chest.
Isn't that the ideal alternative to having a personal trainer? Is having a subscription trainer like a personality?
Yes, you're right, but it's not gonna. That's what I said. That you're gonna go. You're gonna go to the gym, and it's gonna tell you do, I don't know, like exercise on your chest with this machine. the machine's not in the gym, what you gonna do? Gonna be
Well,
lost.
this is the point, I think, that you have identified the moment where someone can make a buying decision, right?
Right.
And you've actually supplied the way that they currently solve that problem, right? And you haven't really raised a strong objection to doing it that way, right? On the other hand, I think that's because you are young people. I think on the other hand, you should look at people over 35 and realize that they're the ones that are actually spending money at gyms. They're the ones who are paying for trainers. They're the ones who are actually, I think, more likely your customers.
You think so?
Yes, I do. I do. Because they need it, right?
They get injured more.
Yeah, they get injured. We're old, you know what I mean? Old people need help, you know? Young people, they're not gonna pay, they're gonna look at the videos. It's a content business, right? It's advertising. You were even saying it yourself. So I know that you know that market because you're part of it, but that doesn't mean that that's your customer. Please.
Sorry, I just want to add up to what you said. I actually think that, as you said, maybe our target customers being a little older, then that means that they don't have time to actually look through the internet and plan their schedule or their workout plan before they go to the gym.
No, well, you know how to use the internet, even us 50-year-olds.
No, but
Yeah, I know, but like you don't have time to like browse for like 2 hours.
I actually like the app because you're in the place and you don't have time to look at all the equipment. You don't even know what equipment is there, and you're not sure what you want to use. So I like it for that reason. That it is right there with you, and you make a decision which thing to use.
You don't even have to think about it.
No, I like that.
But honestly, when I was going to the gym when I was 25, I would just watch people. I would just figure it out. I had time. You know what I mean? Now I don't. At 35, I don't.
I'll build on that because I was going to go in that direction. I think that you have completely missed the opportunity here with the 20 to 35-year-olds. What are some of the massive issues with the population today? Aging, obesity. Those are problems of people over 35. People who are too often embarrassed to go and hire a personal trainer. People who do not have the workout plans for them. This is a massive interest of governments because it costs a lot of money in healthcare. People with chronic disease, people with obesity, they all need to work out, they all need to be encouraged. With the opportunity to do reports, to do gamification, this is such a vast and potentially lucrative opportunity that I think you're looking at a completely wrong direction. And if you're serious about doing something like that, step out of the super crowded space of 20 to 35-year-olds, forget about influencers, and go into the population where the 20 to 35-year-olds will be in the next 15 years. You can stake out your market, you can be the number one, you can get the government and all the organizations, United Nations and all of these things, and you can grow, and this is a worldwide problem.
And really,
that's the opportunity.
Pay attention to what your competitors are doing and why they're doing it. You said your main competitor, people are working out at home. Why?
Because I hate going to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, why and who
they're,
are they?
They're lost there.
No,
because
whatever.
Like,
Ask yourself.
There's many reasons why.
Interrogate these assumptions. Who is the main? Who do you think in Fitbit has board meetings, and what demographic do you think they're looking at as their key? What do you think is the highlight of those board meetings when they're talking about their customer base? Just a guess. Just a guess.
I don't know, 35.
Yeah, 35 to 50. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 99% sure those are the people that they want, right?
Quick comment. So I think Donna's point was very, very good. There's a huge opportunity. I think what I liked about you is you actually had a much more realistic approach to development. You asked for 50,000 for 10%. That's actually plus minus good, right? I mean, I'm comfortable with that. And I think you do have a lot of the elements in place to create a strong value proposition. But I think what Donna mentioned is exactly right. Go away from the expected target group and go into the people, to the people who have the money and have the need. It's much higher than the 20-year-old, and you could make this into an interesting business.
Great, excellent feedback. Thanks, guys. Well, that does it. We've got our 4 teams presented. Great job, everybody.
Saying that they're competing with deliveries, where it's like, no, the restaurants want deliveries because that's how they're offsetting all their capacity.
It was Toan's pain point. He thought he has a solution.
Right. Okay, so
As we said at the beginning of the class, life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. And so that was a great example of that. I'd like to also thank again all of you guys in the class. You guys did an exceptional job. You didn't know at the beginning of the class what it was going to be like. You all had kind of blank stares, and either that or you thought, Shark Tank, this is going to be a lot of fun. And it was, hopefully, it was fun, and it was also quite painful, I know, because, yeah, ooh. So, the winner of this Shark was fitQ. So thanks very much, guys. So just to point out a couple of the elements as to why.
Lloyd's writing the check, by the way.
Lloyd's writing the check. It was a good team. They were specific about what they thought the problem was and how they were going to solve it. And it was realistic. It was reasonable, where they get their target market, who their target market is. Even if you would argue that that's not the target market, you could imagine that they could pivot pretty quickly, because they probably would have some old gray-haired guys download the app anyways, and from the metrics that they saw, they'd see actually that who was buying was not necessarily who they had targeted. And then you pivot into the market, and then all of a sudden a loser becomes a winner. Airbnb guys did the same thing, by the way.
Also the feedback from the sharks. It was rough, but at the end of the day, it was really helpful, and we learned a lot.
Additionally to that, I feel like we had a lot of speakers in the classes. A lot of inspirational people.
From
again,
business,
real experience, real business people who know how it works
and know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so that's what I really liked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shark Tank.